Hey everybody, welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor, brought to you by his book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal. And of course, his website, you can see behind him, testosteronology.net. Testosteronology.com. Whack, whack, whack.
And we have the new shirts, the new gear is in.
Oh, wow.
Anabolic Doc app is almost here. Anabolicdoc.com.
What is that logo? It's like two buck snakes.
It's just the new, just the old logo that we morphed together, making sure it's badass for men.
Those are snakes, right?
Yeah, it's the same. We morphed this one.
Oh, okay.
We had some great graphic artist guys, and we're having fun.
Right on. Yeah. So we'll get right to it. This is a video that, unfortunately, I knew that you and I would eventually have to talk about this because knowing what Boston was doing, Boston Lloyd, with his experiments on himself with a lot of different PEDs, very high doses, using a lot of research chemicals, things that had not been tested on humans. I just knew someday he was going to hurt himself, some serious health issue. And he just announced earlier this week that in October, he found out he was in stage 5 kidney failure, which is the final stage. He is going to need to start dialysis. He's looking into doing it himself with an at-home nocturnal dialysis unit, which you have to take a course for. But and I assume, I don't know if a transplant might be needed down the line, but he is young. He's just turned 28 years old. This is terrible. And we're in your wheelhouse now because this is what you do every day is you treat men, you treat patients, a lot of them who have done damage to themselves inadvertently through PED use. So this isn't your first rodeo with kidney damage. I don't even know where to begin. I'll let you decide.
I don't know. So he's 28-year-old man. It's just very sad.
Yeah.
Very sad. And in addition to it's sad, he's still, I watched the interview with Dave Palumbo a few days ago. When you said it, you made me aware of it.
Yeah.
2 days ago. I just wasn't aware of it. And, I watched it and you have these two guys going back and forth and they're, Dave is joking and laughing and it's just so sad. I mean, it'll make you cry because this man, he doesn't know what he's going, dialysis and transplantation. I deal with this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all these men, they're so regretful. They wish they can go back in time. And it's gambling in Vegas. We're going to get into the science because we're going to talk about the science. I'm putting out a video, funny enough, not funny enough, oddly enough. Oddly enough, coincidentally enough, thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
We made a video last week. There was a guy that the comments, so many great comments, and he said, Doc, make a video on how to determine the creatinine number, when is it real versus a false positive, essentially. And I thought this is a great video to do. I made the video before learning about this a week ago because we have videos that are in the queue 2 weeks or 3 weeks in advance.
Oh, wow.
So it's weird. So this video, guys, you got to watch it. I'm going to discuss a little bit about the technical. This is very technical, kidney failure and reading creatinines and these things. And I'm giving it all away. We're going to give it all away. So, because men are so nervous and my God, so many men come into me where their kidneys are fine and their creatinine might be 1.2 or 3. Or the BUN is a little bit over the upper limit normal because they're taking protein and they're fine and their kidneys are fine. And they're nervous and I have to back them down. Brother, you're okay, but just let's watch the blood pressure, the protein. And protein, we're not going to go into this argument of protein hurting the kidneys. It's not for today. But once you have kidney disease, the kidneys, Ron, are I always say they're like little babies. They don't go back, and Dave, and this is why it was sad, Boston and Dave were going back and forth in Boston. It's sad because he doesn't appear to be acknowledging, he doesn't appear to be cognizant of how severe this is and that he's going to suffer and he's not going to be jacked. He's going to be catabolic. He's going to have a fistula. Do you know what a fistula is?
Not really, no.
Oh my God.
Oh, is that like a permanent opening
Yes,
where you
well,
put the
it's not
tube in?
permanent.
Wow.
It's when you go for dialysis, if he goes for hemodialysis in a medical center 3 times a week, it's a whole half day. It's 3 hours or 6 hours,
Yeah.
and you have a fistula that they pump into, and it looks like a huge varicose vein.
Mm,
Please, guys, please give comments. I'm not going to even watch the comments on muscular development because they're so toxic against me that I
yeah.
just don't. I do them because I love you guys, and I
Thank
know
you.
if there's only a bunch of men that benefit from this, I keep doing it, and I do it because you and
Thank you.
Bleckman, gave me a chance, not 2008. So I'm still, and I don't turn against people. So you guys are awesome because I have a bigger platform on my own, and I'm not being a jerk. But
No,
it's
it's
okay.
true though.
It's
It's true.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. But here's the
Yeah.
deal. I'm doing this for men, and you're a great guy. You're a friend of mine, Ron.
Thank you.
And you're trying to get the word out. Boston was not feeling, he wasn't sorry that he did it. He was very bombastic that, no, you know me, Dave, I'm going forward. Now that's coping, right? He's defensive. He's coping. He's got a very strong personality. I'm not putting him down, guys. I feel sorry for him because he doesn't know what's going to happen. I have a lot of guys in dialysis. There's peritoneal, there's the home, there's the hemodialysis in the center. You have to go to a medical center 3 times a week. For it's your whole life is over. He's going to be catabolic. He said Don Long competed in a show and he did a prep on dialysis. And there's
Mm,
no, it's either not true. You don't do a bodybuilding prep when you're going to dialysis. It's either not true
yeah.
or it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Flex Wheeler. I've only known a few people who were on dialysis, and I Flex got transplants and everything, but I knew him. I've known him I've known him for 30 years. But when he was on dialysis, he told me many times he says, bro, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. It's miserable. It's the worst thing you can imagine. And I think he was doing it. I think he had a unit he traveled with it. He brought, wherever he went, he had to bring all these
Yeah.
machines and he had to do it himself in his hotel room. But let's go back. Let's make this, because it is a complex issue, but I know that you have the ability to break it down in simple
Yeah.
terms. First of all, kidneys, what is the function of the kidneys in the human body?
Okay. So the kidneys are very, very delicate, complex organs. When we left the ocean, depending on your religious perspective, when we left the ocean millions and millions of years ago, your body had to figure out how it's going to take some of the salt water with you.
Hmm. Hmm.
The
Yeah.
kidneys, they maintain an electrolyte. They maintain the osmolality. They maintain a very, very particular electrolyte milieu in your
Hmm.
body.
Wow.
Number one, they maintain blood pressure. They are cleansing. They are a part of a filter. They work intimately with the cardiovascular system. Very complicated. Nephrology doctors are internal medicine doctors like me, but they go further on to specialize in nephrology, kidney disease.
Hmm.
And in med school and residency, we always had respect for them. You know why?
Why?
We thought they were the smartest of us
Hmm.
because nephrology is very the formulas, the estimated GFR that we're going to talk about and that we're going to go into my videos in detail. I talk about the estimation. It's very complicated formulas, and these are very smart intellectual guys, not to mention doctors.
Yeah.
But it's nephrology is very esoteric, Ron. More than cardiology or any brain surgery, maybe. It,
Really?
it just it is yeah,
Hmm.
because the kidney, maintaining these kidneys maintain your blood pressure. How do you think it works? It does that. The renin, angiotensinogen. This is so complicated. So the kidneys maintain electrolyte balance, maintain blood pressure. They are cleansing. They also maintain red blood cells. So epogen
Mhm.
EPO. Look at so did I say enough about what the kidneys do? I can go on
Sure.
and on.
Yeah. So my next question is, what are some of the ways that various drugs that bodybuilders use or abuse, I should say, can harm the kidneys?
Great. And I deal with it all day long. So the number one most common type of kidney disease failure, which Boston, I'm almost 100% sure would have, is, tell me what it is.
I have no idea.
FSG, you know
Oh,
what?
FSG. Well, I thought that was primarily an African American thing.
No.
No.
It's inherently associated epidemiologically, public health perspective, with
Yeah.
African American people and men and women that are in dialysis from hypertension and diabetes and genetics, and the moons line up. But bodybuilders using steroids having hypertension not monitored, guys. Listen to
Right.
me. Monitor the blood pressure. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, other drugs like what Boston is understanding, that he feels that this one aponectin or some peptide,
Yeah.
particularly this particular peptide, pushed his kidneys over the edge. But your baseline was 2.0, and I'm not here to get into I'm a doctor. None of these guys are doctors. Dave's not a doctor. Dave thinks that, and I'm criticizing him. Dave thinks that a baseline creatinine of 2 is normal.
Look,
That's cringy.
what's the
That's
actual
cringy.
reference range?
That's cringy. That's cringy. The amount of people that are walking around on the planet that can have a normal creatinine of 2, 1.8 to 2, there are some, and I've only seen a handful. And so the normal, when the kidneys fail, it's an estimated GFR. It's based on a calculation. My video talks about it. We've had different calculations over the years, and now we have the MDRD, and there's another one. There's apparently 2 or 3. I researched this in detail before my video to make sure I had everything right. Again, it's very intellectual. It's esoteric. It's even the common doctor, only nephrology doctors or internists know this stuff. The guru guys, you got to be careful having these guys read it. So, when it's dangerous, I see a lot of men that have a creatinine of 1.3 to 1.5, even 1.6, and that raises my eyebrows. But I make sure that that's not kidney disease. And it's an estimation. So the creatinine on the comprehensive or basic metabolic is going to be, it's a waste product. It comes from muscle.
Yeah.
If you have more muscle, it's obvious that you're going to have a higher level. Therefore, the calculation for the estimated GFR, and it says African American versus non-African American,
Right.
it differentiates that you'll have an inverse relationship because the GFR goes down. Boston said his was, I think, under 15%. Now, when it gets
12
down,
or 13.
yeah, I believe, yeah. I didn't listen carefully, but I could tell you that I deal with this all the time with nephrologists. I work with Leal Hurlitz, who's the #1 renal pathologist at Cleveland Clinic. I'm very proud. Leal's a friend of mine. She did the study on steroids, steroid users with all this with FSGS in 2009. You could look up Dr. Leal Hurlitz, and you could tell her I sent you. So she doesn't see patients. She's a pathologist. Absolute sweetheart. Does not discriminate against steroid users. Helps me. I call her every couple of months. Hey, Leo, what's going on? I got a guy in Cincinnati or LA who's a nephrologist. So she gives me personal nephrology. Yeah, this is what I do for this is what I do for my guys. And I make a personal hookup depending on in the country where they are, because I have so many men with FSGS. I'm catching so many men early where their creatinine is normal, maybe upper limit normal, and they're peeing they have proteinuria, which Boston said that. Yeah, and they both just kind of poo-pooed that. You can have trace protein. If you have proteinuria, you have to figure this out. It's very complicated.
So this is my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is the #1 dangerous aspect of being a drug using bodybuilder is in terms of potential kidney damage, is having untreated high blood pressure. And over time, because when we had Fakri on about a year ago, Fakri Mubarak, who was also in kidney failure and was looking at dialysis, I think he's doing a lot better, thank God. But I believe is that it? Is it high blood pressure from the other drugs?
Absolutely. Well, hold on. So you know me. I apologize for not giving straight answers. If I'm doing a multiple choice test question, what's the most important or most damaging, in addition to the steroids that can be renal toxic and the whole picture? Yes. So please, gentlemen, if you're on steroids, control your blood pressure. If you can, it's going to slow down the process. Boom. So yes, hypertension.
I had people in the comments section, because I did a little video the other day, and someone asked, how do I treat high blood pressure without medication? I said, I have no idea, but why would you not see a doctor and get medication? I don't think a doctor is going to turn you down if you have high blood pressure, regardless of what's causing the high blood pressure. Their job as a healer, because they took the Hippocratic Oath, is to help you get that blood pressure down so you're healthier.
But so let's talk about that. So this is, as the anabolic doc, when I first started being the anabolic doc, 2005, 2003, I was the anabolic doc. I wasn't the anabolic doc because I didn't think of it yet, but I was helping men on steroids because I was one of them, and I felt it was the right thing to do. So you have to go see an internist. Hopefully it's not a jerk. There's not many internists left anymore because the nature of our training programs and internal medicine is a dying breed because there's no politics. Sorry, there's no money in it. It's all nurse practitioners, and there's no primary care. That you're going to be a specialist. Primary care is gone. It's all nurses. They can be great. Hypertension, you have to go see an expert doctor that's been educated clinically and academically in hypertension. It could be experience on the job with a nurse practitioner. I agree. You could read the data online, JNC, Joint National Committee number 5. You could read the data, and then you have to know the patient's history, comorbid disease states, ethnicity, family history, and then what they tolerate, allergies, and then you use men. I've put together, and this is what my app is going to be giving to millions of men in the world, all my algorithms, because YouTube is taking, when I give direct information, YouTube just disables that. So it's okay. I don't own YouTube. They don't want me giving direct information. Whenever I do about metformin, about blood pressure, they remove some of those videos. Look, who cares? YouTube owns it. They don't want me giving direct treatment information. So, and maybe that's okay. So here's the deal. Yes. So depending on the man, his race, and it's again Caucasian, African American, different blood pressure medicines will be better. ACE inhibitors, ARBs, calcium channel blocker, diuretics. You better on beta blockers, calcium. There's central nervous system acting drug. There's 5 classes. You have to be this is hard. This is really, and so I put together these regimens just for my men, one-on-one, and I follow them to make sure that they feel okay on it, Ron.
Yeah.
So this is not just, hey, take this statin and get out of here. That's cholesterol. See this? So you're right, though, Ron. You're right. Hypertension, I agree, is the most deteriorating factor, component to the endothelial tissue. That's the inner wrapping, not just going to damage right out of the studio, not going to just damage this and the brain and strokes, but damages kidney disease. So classic kidney disease is secondary to the vital signs, years of blood pressure, bad genes, sodium, all this stuff together, diabetes. Now, these are young men like Bostin. He's going to have FSGS. He's going to have he's going to have 3+ protein in the urine. He mentioned it. He said his breath is stinky. He has that's called uremic. He has uremia. His breath is nasty. He said his breath is a horrible odor of, and this is what happens. So that's why if his creatinine doesn't come down from 6, and his potassium, the electrolytes are destable or unstable, he'll be in dialysis immediately. And that doctor who said, get your labs in 2 weeks, the guy had and I agree with Boston. Boston walks into a clinic, appears like he's in the United States, and he says, hey, doc, I'm a kidney failure. I checked my labs, for my own, labs in November. I guess this was January or December. This is a week or two ago or 2 weeks. And the guy said, we'll send you for labs in 2 weeks, and then you'll have to come in. Boston, you're right. That doctor fired. Get rid of that doctor. There's a million doctors. There's a million walk-in clinics. Everything is do-it-yourself now with doctors. This is what I'm doing with my app. It's all going to be case studies. And guys are going to go, oh, that sounds like my case. They're going to write the information, share it, and they're going to bring it to a doctor, and they're going to get on the different medicines. I'm not a pill pusher, but you're right. If you're doing steroids, use the lowest. Let's get right to it, Ron. Don't do steroids. Forget it. You're obviously, men know that. Try to get on TRT, guys. If you're on steroids for long enough and you can't get off your blasting and cruising and you feel like shit, see a real doctor, hopefully an endocrinology doctor, hopefully someone good, someone caring and smart. Do a history, get your vital signs. If you stay on TRT, I've been on TRT for almost 30 years. I mean, my blood pressure is 110/70. Yeah, the sauna. I'm on ACE. I'm on Bistolic. I'm on Vascepa. I'm on PCSK9. I'm on metformin. But don't try it at home, guys. I don't know. I mean, this is what I do. And Ron, I mean, this is how and I'm almost 60. And I'm just trying to tell you guys, I'm an internist. So of course, I take care of myself with other doctors. But there's the PCSK9s. These are very specialized drugs that are used out there. This is real anti-aging medicine. You want to anti-age? Don't have a heart attack or cancer. Get screened. You want to anti-age? Keep your blood pressure 110/70.
Yeah. So one thing that you said back there intrigued me because, I realize that the high blood pressure does hurt the kidneys over time, but you also mentioned that certain steroids in particular are known to be renal toxic.
Yes.
So just injecting them alone, even if your blood pressure's fine, they're still harming your kidneys. I think, have we talked about Tren being the worst culprit?
So Ron, great. So we don't know, please. We don't know, Tren, there's no data to say Tren's, guaranteed to be renal toxic. And because Tren has a certain associated color dye to it, when you're peeing and you're peeing dark, it's not because your kidneys are damaged. It's because of the. Okay. So I'm trying to give everything I can. So that's all. And a lot of guys know that. But here's the truth with steroids. It's in 28 to have kidney disease. He pushed the envelope, this guy. He pushed the envelope. Let's be honest. Yeah. And, so it's a collective. It's called area under the curve. If you're going to have kidney disease at 65 or 75, regular people do because they're just older. Yeah. And if you have a propensity for it, and it's in the cards, like maybe African American with FSGS, and then you have uncontrolled hypertension for years and years, silent killer. You have diabetes, pre-diabetes, smoke, and then maybe steroid use. So so steroids probably, Ron, I don't know which one is more renal toxic, and I'm the anabolic doc, but it seems like Tren would be renal toxic if you lived on it. But if you lived on a lot of Anadrol or D-bol, forget the liver for a minute, and you're hypertensive, and it's just toxic. So I think for steroids, Ron, it's the collective amount, right? Mm-hmm. And when I heard the video the other day, Boston said he's still on a gram of gear. I mean, ooh.
Wow.
I don't know. So, but is it this? And I want to make something clear. It seems like everyone's focusing on this particular peptide. Just don't do that peptide. Guys, listen to me. all the men that come into me with early kidney disease, FSGS, it's not from peptides, guys. It's from old school, good old, too much sustanon, too much equipoise. Yeah, Tren.
Well,
On
this. I hate to interrupt, but so he only used this peptide for 30 days. He claims he used it for a 4-week span last fall, September through October, and he believes that it's a peptide FTTP that had never been tested on humans, of course, and that he contacted he contacted a peptide expert who said that the monkeys and rats who did have trials with this particular substance, they all got acute kidney failure, but then he heard that they recovered, most of them recovered, so he's like, oh, all right, never mind, then we're fine. But that's beside the point. My question is, if you're in stage 5 kidney failure, could you have done all that damage in 30 days, or did this have to be something that's been building up for years?
Hold on, it's a good point. I'm not a nephrologist. I don't know the case. So his baseline creatinine is 2, and then he does this, what appears, I agree, a significantly renal toxic agent for a short acute period, and his creatinine, his GFR tanks, he goes into, he was throwing up, he was sick, his creatinine's up to 6, his BUN is up, he's sick, he is in acute renal failure.
Yeah.
If he went to the hospital, they would not send him home. They would put him in the hospital and they would watch him, his electrolytes. They would do a lot of other things. They would call nephrology. They'd sit him in there for a day or two, making sure he's okay. I hope.
Yeah.
And then they may even dialyze him, quick in there. And they don't, for that, they just use a triple lumen. They just do a central catheter. They don't, the whole fistula thing has to be matured. And that's for someone who's going to be on dialysis. Most men now, sorry, I'm going off the cuff here. Most men, we see the dialysis coming, so they don't need it. We go for transplantation early now. And if you're not getting a transplant early, you should. I have right now at least half a dozen guys getting into on the transplant list, and they're never going to have dialysis. Because my doctors that I work with, mainly from Neil Hurwitz, and other good nephrologists around the world, they're watching it. They're watching the filtration rate, the potassium, the other issues, and how the man feels. They're putting it all, not to mention anemia. These guys are anemic. They go from polycythemic to anemic because the kidney controls the red blood cell production, erythrocytosis, through EPO. It's incredible what I did. So all these men like me and you on testosterone, those red cells go up, and then that fails because because we have normal kidneys, thank God. And that's can you believe how complicated these processes are?
So what you just said kind of confused me, because I always assumed an organ transplant, a kidney transplant, would be the last option when all else has failed.
No. When you see the writing on the wall, so hold on. Let me tell you because I have a guy literally I just saw last week who I love very much. It's that his creatinine is 3.5, 3.5.
Okay.
He's been there. Listen to me very closely, everyone. He's been there for 7 years. So he's holding strong. He has a great nephrologist, and he has me, and he is going to get a transplant sooner or later. And I have another patient, and let me bring up a patient that I could say that he doesn't mind me saying. Joe Ladinier is a famous powerlifter that is not a patient of mine. He was. He allows me to say this, that because he wants the world to know. Joe came to me years ago. I did videos. Joe let me do videos. My videos are Joe Ladinier?
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of powerlifters.
He's the powerlifter in the animal cage that benched 405 for 40 reps.
Oh boy. Yikes. Okay.
I'm a powerlifter. At least I was at least associated with them. I was never. Joe is not only one of the strongest men ever to walk the face of the world, is such a sweetheart. So Joe Joe's creatinine bounces 3 to 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. He's on the he's going to get an early transplant from a relative. It's awesome. And I have many. So so you're right though. You think they're going to wait. So they do. They wait. We wait. We control blood pressure. Oh my God. And blood pressure is very difficult to control. This other man from last week that I love very much, he's on like 5 blood pressure medicines now. Wow. And they can't control his blood pressure. What? Tell me why.
I have no idea.
The kidneys are intimately related for blood pressure control. So when you get to the end, if your heart's good, your heart can make that pressure because your pump is good, and you're not that old. Even old people can have problems with this, but you see this classically with a young person, middle age, kidney failure, and the heart's still good, so it could still make pressure in the system. Versus heart failure guy, then you're just dead. Or you got to get you have to get a heart transplant and a kidney transplant, and I've seen all this. I've just seen, but it is what it is. Wow. This is not just from steroids. This is just from bad luck, and people's shit happens to people. Yeah. So it's not just steroids.
Right.
Okay. Steroids can accelerate it. Watch the stuff early, guys. Don't do steroids. Keep it on TRT. Be careful. So that's my message. But they watch things, and then when things are getting out of control and your potassium starts to get unstable, you're done. You have to pop into dialysis to bridge to transplantation.
Wow. Now, that's a lot. So
this is stuff that these gurus, Ron. I'm done, but I don't care if they hate me. I don't care. How can a guru, if anyone's seeing a creatinine of even 1.4 or 5, you have to know how to differentiate that from I'm just muscular and this is exercise. Ron, this is what I do. And a lot of times I'm not sure. I look at I'm giving all the algorithms. It's all going to be given to you guys. Do this, do that, do this, check this, check this, check that. And then if indeed you're not sure, go see nephrology. Take information to nephrology.
Yeah. So a lot of people watching this, they're not going to listen to your to your cautionary advice to not take steroids. I'm not listening to you. I'm still on, more than TRT, and at times of the year I do more than that. So what would your best advice be if someone comes in and says, "Doc, I'm not going to stop using steroids, but I don't want to go into kidney failure." What's your best advice?
Ron, I give it to you. I love you, Ron.
Yeah.
I'd like steroids too, because I'm strong. I'm a bencher. I like it. But so use the least amount you can. I can't say, I think orals are dangerous, and Anavar, it's interesting. I hope this video is big. Anavar like mediates through the kidneys. Is Anavar, if you look at the bro science on this, because the real doctors aren't quite sure, Anavar potentially is renal toxic.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of girls out there are going to be in trouble then.
No, I'm just but if you depending on if you use low doses and you take time off and you train, use Anavar sparingly, don't do it every day. I'm trying to, at this point in my career, I'm telling guys, this stuff does don't do it every day. Don't do it. Don't do it every day. Don't even training days. Watch your blood pressure. Get your creatinine. Get your blood pressure checked. Check your electrolytes. Family history. What else? Cholesterol. It all. The kidney. And this is all I do. Kidney, heart. I did articles for Muscular Development 10 years ago called Anabolic Cardiorenal Syndrome. You can look it up. I think Bleckman contacted me after that article in particular, and he was like, "Good job, doctor. Good job, doctor."
Yeah,
because he likes the anabolic cardiorenal. If you go to Google and put muscular development anabolic cardiorenal, I'll bet you it picks up.
Because I'm thinking about all the bodybuilders I've known who have had very serious health issues and the ones who've died, and the timeline, the age. It seems to me that the heart problems take longer to accumulate, and they'll kill people in their 40s and 50s maybe. But we've had guys in their 20s, 30s go into kidney failure, and some of them have died. It seems like the kidneys are a lot more susceptible.
Kidneys are baby. Remember what I said? The kidneys are little babies, because the heart, you're right, the liver and the heart, I don't want to give any, it's hard. I don't want to give confidence to guys. The heart is an infant, not a baby, maybe. The heart can kind of bounce back, but I've seen guys with low ejection fractions, including my patient, we have National Geographic. Jeff doesn't mind saying it, obviously, me saying this, that, his heart bounced back.
Wow.
It bounced back. Yeah, good news. Woo!
I didn't even know that was possible. Wow.
Oh, it's incredible. So the heart can bounce back.
Yeah.
The liver is an absolute monster. Although I had a guy come in 2 weeks ago, probably my 10th guy ever after thousands of guys, that he did, I think 6 months or 4 months of Dianabol. He's from another country. He's from South America. He's up here now. Yeah. He's a really nice guy. And he ran D-ball and Anadrol. I think I did a video on that. I do so many videos. And he actually had part of his liver he had these big cysts. He had tumors. They're benign tumors, but they were functional. They were mass tumors, and from anabolic steroids. It was kind of unusual because he didn't do so much, but he did do it kind of chronic. It was a weird case, and they just cut them out. Guy's liver functions fine. He's 37 years old. I mean, do you see what I see, Ron? It's amazing. But, most guys don't do orals for more than, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm not giving any directions, guys.
I always say 4. I tell people 4 weeks in my,
correct.
Dr. Ron.
Yeah. So, and then, but collectively, when you're on steroids, let's go back to it. Take the lowest amount you can, get off the stuff. You're going to always have to be on test. Everyone knows that, unless you can get off. I hope there's 19 or maybe 29-year-old men watching this, maybe 49-year-old men. I have these guys I have mid-age crisis guys coming in on so much steroids. So they just found it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is interesting. And look, it is what it is. We've been doing this stuff from young guys, but men, hopefully men will watch this and go, I don't want to do any of this. And that's great, dude. And if you want to go on test, if you just want to do testosterone replacement, even that, Ron, I have a medical license to protect, right? Even that is like, really serious, but I'm not going to be a prude. Guys that are on testosterone can feel phenomenal. It's unreal. But hair, brain effects, sex, right? Sex. I'm working on my stuff. Look at my face. Look at I'm doing the facial today. We're getting there.
Get some Botox? What's going on? No?
That's coming next week. I'm finally getting ready to do it. We're having a great time. But you know what though? But the most important stuff is right behind the sternum, right? My heart and the kidneys. So blood pressure, guys. My app is going to help all you men in the world. Blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, secrets. All my medical secrets are coming out because I'll be on a completely uncensored platform. And it's not that I'm trying to I give it to all my patients, but my hands are full. We're only taking rolling admissions now. I'm doing rolling admissions only now.
Wow.
I do 3 consults a day. Yeah. I don't work Fridays. Today's my media day, and my day just to chill out and enjoy my life, whatever I have. And, because I work, and half a day on Tuesday. Otherwise, I do 3 consults all over the world on Zoom every day. I'm never going to stop doing consults because I get to heal and I get to meet you new guys, but I'm only taking on a rolling admission whenever. So when a guy leaves, I will open up a spot. And that's what we're doing.
Last point I want to make, it's related, but Boston, he did a lot of crazy things to himself, and he was always very honest. And he came down. He's always come down on the people who lie and they sort of downplay their drug use. But you know what? Here's the thing: he never said, "Hey kids," and it's a lot of kids that follow him. It was a lot of very young guys, teenagers, early 20s. That was his core audience. And he never said, "Do 3 grams of tren a week, do 3 grams of test a week, and this and that." But he said, "That's what I'm doing." And you look at him, and you're 18, you're a 15, 16, 18-year-old kid. You look at this guy, he's 6'2", he's got these massive shoulders and arms, beautiful wife, and you're thinking, whatever he's doing, I want to be that guy.
I
I'm
know.
gonna do what that guy's
I
doing.
know.
So whether or not he wanted to be a role model with what he was doing, whether he ever intended to do so, that's what happened. I know there's tons of guys. There has to be a lot of young guys out there who duplicated to an extent what he was doing because they wanted that result. And
Look, I'll never forget 2015. I did my interview with him, of course, and you remember that, right? The audio, yeah, and we got, and of course, it's still out there today. And I got like death threats. The death threats went away, and I said, Boston, dude, I love him and Rich. Those were the days of Boston and Rich Piana coming out, and I love it. It was coming out. They were the first guys to say, "Hey, man, what's up, guys? Here I am. Here's what I do." But you're right. The stronger implication in picture is, look at these guys. I mean, Rich obviously was a freak. Who wants to be like that? But a lot of guys do.
oh,
And
the 5%ers. He's got
no,
a lot of people
but
wanting to be like that.
I know that. I know I went to, and I knew Rich at the end. It's sad. And I saw him at the Arnold. He had that amazing, he had the line, the line was longer for him than Arnold or for Jay.
Yep.
So, and it's, it's true. And
yeah.
I was like, who is this guy? I was like, I heard of this guy. And I went over and I met him and stuff and talked to him. And I was amazed. And I was looking at the arms and everything. And I was looking at this guy and thinking, and then the next morning, I saw him and he pulled me over to have a little breakfast with him, talk business, I was humble. I was like, oh my God, Rich Piana wants me to come over. And I remember I saw another guy at breakfast and I was like, Rich, the next morning in our hotel.
Yeah.
Whatever hotel, the big old the Crown, maybe it was whatever big one.
Crown Plaza.
Whatever.
There's two. Yeah, I'm usually at the Hilton.
It was Rich, whatever one is one of the biggies because everyone was there and it was pretty close, to where the thing is, the convention.
Yeah.
And you walk right down the road a little bit, and I think it was the Crown, and there was a million guys there and famous people and everything. And I saw Rich, and I saw a guy that looked like Rich. I go, Rich, and they like tapped him, because the Anabolic doc's trying to get your attention. And I was like, oh shit, that wasn't Rich. It was a Rich lookalike. Yeah. But it was the same size, and obviously the fillers. He had the fillers
and the tattoos, and
and it was just like a Rich lookalike, and it was like, whoa, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
He was like, "What's up, Doc?" And I was like, "Oh my God, sorry." But so on this level, we're so visual, Ron. We're such visual people, men, especially men, that you want to be, and this is like a great thing that. You want to be open. You want to be the best. You want to compete. But guys, you got to get health histories. Don't do steroids. Avoid the steroids and do skateboarding or something else. But Ron, please, you agree with me? Or your kid, because look at your kid, Ron. Your kid's awesome, and he's just a handsome, young, lean man. And he's clearly not on steroids. Okay, none of my business. None of my business. You're a dad.
He's definitely not.
You're a great dad. Yeah. And I have a 14-year-old, obviously, right behind your kid's older than that. So, and my daughter, she's not in this world, but she respects it. But maybe TRT, guys. I guess if you're going to be on TRT for life, that's my bottom line. Don't do steroids. Do them as least as you can. Even if you're going to be a pro bodybuilder, you're looking at a lot of risk. Ron, you agree with me? If you're going to be a pro bodybuilder, guys, let's be honest. There's incredible risks. If you say, I get it, but young men, do they really understand that? Well, young men race cars. Young men drink and get crazy. We're crazy. We're crazy.
They go off to war. They have no fear.
But it is what it is. So we're trying to give education. Steroids, I did it the safe way. I'm doing it safe. There's no safe way. But can I block? Can I limit the damage? Yes, I do it all day long. Is there a guarantee that you're not going to end up with a heart or kidney issue or some other issue, psychiatric or some other issue? I mean, come on, there's a lot of strokes and blood clots. My top common 5 medical that they come in to see me for. And there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
No guarantee. Yeah. And that's it, guys. Nothing more to say.
Drop the mic.
That's just, I'll
Okay.
drop the mic. And
Yeah.
guys like Lee Priest and stuff, I love Lee, because Lee Priest has a good message, although he's crazy and he's out there, but it's like, he says the same stuff. He's like, you're going to do steroids. You're going to do steroids.
Yeah. I mean, he knows when people have their mind made up, they're going to do it anyway. So you just do your best to counsel them. Try to convince them to be as cautious as possible. Watch out for your health. That's what I say, guys. I try to say that all the time. So use as least amount as possible. See a doctor regularly. Get blood work. Get your heart looked at. Because, geez, everyone's invincible until they're not. That's the bottom line.
But the kidney thing. So if Boston was a patient, if I saw a guy with a creatinine of up to 2.0, I would do everything I can to make sure that I prevented that from worsening. And I guess if he had that, I don't know. I mean, if he had that, but I think the agent he did probably did worsen it, to answer your question before. So
Right.
so the good news may be, maybe he will go back to 2 or 3, and he'll have chronic kidney disease, and hopefully his doctors will slow the process down.
Yeah.
But if he is going to go, if his kidneys, if that damage was so overwhelming, the kidneys are very fragile, they're babies, and he may, as you said, be in dialysis and getting a transplant. And
Yeah. I wish him the best. I know you do too. We don't wish. In the comments, people are going to rip us apart regardless. I know that. It's fine.
Okay.
I know it's going to happen, but I wish the best for him. He's 28 years old. He's got a young son. I want Boston to live. I hope he learns from this. I hope he gets healthy.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be 270 and this big freak anymore. It's like Palumbo. Palumbo could be a skinny guy now, and it's okay because everyone knows he was the biggest freak in the world at one time. So it doesn't matter what he looks like now. Boston, if you're listening, same thing. People know what you achieved with your physique, with your experiments. They saw the big freaky shoulders and arms and all that stuff. So, you don't need to look like that anymore. You already
Yeah,
have the reputation.
the guy was, and he said he wants to still get his pro card and then turn it down.
Oh, he said that? I didn't catch that part.
He did. I believe he said that.
Well, good luck. I mean, pro cards are a lot easier to come by than they used to be, but he would have a lot of work to do. It's not that easy, but that's all.
But see, this is the whole thing, and this is the competition. We're men, and we'll kill ourselves, not to mention ourselves and others, just to and motocross guys. I have motocross guys, professional bike guys, free ride guys. They're look at the guys in the mountain bikers that jump off of the cliffs and all that.
Ugh.
No, but hold. So I mean, those guys don't die. I'm sure that NASCAR guys, look at the accidents. Look.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I mean.
So I agree. I'm supporting you guys and saying, but is this a way you want to go? I guess that's kind of going down in glory and flames, and you're dead and you're done, I guess.
Yeah.
But you don't know. But so bodybuilding disease is a slow, steady heart attacks and dialysis. It's so depressing. Okay, I'm done. That's all.
Yeah, and I know a lot of them will say, I'd rather live a short life as a lion than a long life as a lamb. But I don't think anyone would still believe that if they're in a hospital and they're looking at dying within the next couple weeks. I think they probably would reconsider and say, wait a minute, maybe I would like to live past the age of 35 or 40 or whatever. I mean, I don't think anyone who's fearless of death, very few of them would actually be fearless if death was truly imminent right in front of them as an actual possibility.
You're saying what guys say to me when after they live the depression of being sick, and their erections don't work, they look horrible, they feel terrible, they're depressed, and it's suicide, Ron. Suicide. It is what it is.
It's your Friday, it's your media day. You probably got another interview lined up in like 2 seconds. So I appreciate you very much taking the time, Dr. O'Connor. Guys, go to that website, testosteronology.com. I assume there's info about the upcoming app and stuff on there.
Not yet. We're going to have that coming up in probably we're done with it in 2 weeks, it looks like.
You can probably sign up for a newsletter or something so you'll be notified.
We do have a newsletter. We have a newsletter, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sign up for the newsletter, guys. This is some great information. And again, don't think don't think doctors aren't the people to turn to. Don't turn to the guy at the gym for medical advice or the guy who's doing your contest prep for medical advice. These people are not doctors. They might have read a little bit here and there, but they're not doctors. Please, if you have issues, go see an actual medical professional. Please.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron. Because they're cool dudes. They're young guys. I have a lot of young guys following me and coming in. We're doing, I've trained a couple and we're seeing if we can do an apprenticeship program. I'm always trying to help. So these young guys that are in APRN and nursing school, a lot of nurses and doctors training, they're on steroids.
Nice. Cool. All right. Well, Doctor, thank you again. Everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Ask the Anabolic Doc. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll see you next time.